I'll put it simple. If you're going hard enough left, you'll find yourself turning right.
Oh, right. That makes perfect sense. Turn right to go left. Yes! Thank you! Or should I say no thank you? Because in opposite world, maybe that really means thank you. Crazy grandpa car. What an idiot. Turn right to go left. Oh.
What's up, guys? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Hope you guys are having a very amazing weekend, and I hope as well the trading week was so sweet. So I have been out for a while, so I'm very happy to be back. So in today's video, we're gonna talk about something very amazing. So we're gonna talk about how to actually determine our framework. Like, we're gonna determine should we determine our path. How should we determine our bias? How should we determine where we are actually heading to, okay? Based on the overall context of the pair or the chart or whatsoever symbol which you are trading. So this is what we're going to talk about in today's video. Okay, yeah, so this is actually Euro USD, one of my best pairs, by the way. So we're going to use this pair to actually illustrate what I mean. So this is on the daily. So what I mean by actually determining a symbols or actually a pair, a direction or bias or path or where we are actually heading to, it's actually very easy. Okay, so I actually start all this process on the higher time frame. So anything from the daily and above is for me higher time frame. Okay, so this is Euro USD on the daily. So what we could quickly go from starting from the back, we could actually see that we could actually see the pair actually move from a bearish to a bullish from this area right here. So it actually changed direction to it to be on a bullish side. Okay, so we had those bullish moves. All these moves came in place, letting behind it all these demands. So we had that very nice break right there. So, and as well, I was on my previous videos, I actually spoke about this bullish movement. This bullish movement happening, I spoke about it in my last two videos. If you could go back and you actually watch what I was actually trying to see in the market. So talking about the bias or the direction in which you want to see the pair or the trade go into. So what we want to see is that one, starting from the higher time frame. Okay, let's say we have gotten our daily and we actually see the price is actually moving higher. Okay, so it actually means our direction is towards the upside on our higher time frame. Okay, so whatsoever thing which you find in here on our lower time frame, be it 1 hour or 4 hour or whatsoever, all these short moves in here are short-term sells for those overall bullish movements. Okay, so what I saw actually in here, I saw this break of market structure happening in here. Okay, so we actually caught some very nice buys in here with my mentees, and I actually shared these setups, some nice buy setups in here in my Telegram channel as well. It's actually free, this Telegram channel, so you can actually hop onto the links below and you're gonna find out this Telegram channel. It's actually a free Telegram channel where I share weekly my setups on my bias and what I think about the market. Okay, so when the price was actually in here, I had this overall targets to be my price target. So I was actually expecting price to do what? So it was somewhere around here, let's say even here anyways. So I was actually expecting price to come take these highs. Okay, so that was my framework. Okay, that was my framework for me. So the market was already in here, the market was still in here, and based on the overall context of the market being bullish, okay, I actually was expecting for price to come take this high. Okay, so now talking about framework, this is what will actually help you understand more about the market. talking about framework will actually help you to get rid of all those fears. For instance, if you drop on the lower time frames, let's say 1 hour or 4 hour, you will see these moves here to be very, very big. Okay, you actually feel the market is getting bearish, but these are actually short-term sells for overall long-term buys. Okay, I have no issues with you getting into sales in here. There are, of course, there are valid sales in here, but for me as a blue setuper, I won't consider sales in here, but rather I will actually wait for those flashy buys that will actually come take out my target, which as well predicted this move in my YouTube channel. I think the previous video, I talked about this in there. Okay, so let me do a quick recap again for you guys to understand before we continue. Okay, so when I talk about framework, okay, I want to talk about the context of the market. Where are we actually heading to? Okay, first thing first, you want to start on your higher time frame. Higher time frame for me as a blue setuper, I will say it again, it starts from daily and above. Okay, anything from daily and above is for me higher time frame. Okay, so I want to actually go through this analysis with market structure to actually determine where is my bias. Okay, so as you could clearly see in here, we saw those breaks towards the higher side, so it actually obviously means we are still on the bullish side of the market. Okay, based on all these demand zones that were being held and still holding very strongly, we are still expecting those bullish moves to be in place. Okay, so the market actually played nicely, very nicely. That was about during this last month actually itself, this high got taken out. Okay, so this high being taken out, that doesn't mean after this high been taken out, that does not mean the market is becoming bearish after this high has been taken out. See, people might actually see this bearish movement thinking the market is still going lower, like it's already changed its face from it being bullish to bearish. No, I have a very, very unique way in which I actually want to see market displacement. Okay, change of market trend. I talked about market displacement as well in one of my previous videos, and we'll go more deeper in my mentorship, which I offer this detailed and refined trading systems. Okay, so market displacement, that is the only thing in which I want to actually see in the market to actually try to figure out where and when is the market changing its face from it being bullish to bearish. Okay, so right now we are still actually very, very bullish in this market. Okay, yeah, so this high got taken out. Let me get rid of this. I'll get rid of this. I'll get rid of this. I'll get rid of this as well. Okay, so as you could lovely see in here, we saw this high which got taken out, right? This high got taken out. Okay, again, as per the present or current market price in here, we will now still want to find out where is our framework. Like, what is our framework? What are we actually wanting to see in the market? There are very, very good things in which we want to actually pinpoint, and two main things actually. The very first thing is for us to determine where is our overall target based on already our bias. See, our bias is still very, very bullish. Okay, so it actually means what? It actually means one and simple thing, that we want to see the market coming to take out this high right here. Okay, so this is our overall target, and as well, we won't want to see the market go below this low. Even if the market go below this low, okay, it doesn't mean it is being bearish, because as well it can still easily go below this low. Some of you might still say this is a break of market structure, and then you might want to have a sell in here. Okay, which is still not very, very correct. It is very, very wrong. Okay, see, one break to the lower side for me is not a change of market structure, but rather once I see these breaks, like a very first break, for me it is actually a very, very nice or very, very better confirmation for me that the market is still very, very strong and holding towards the upper side. Okay, this might happen because of some sort of absorption. It might as well happen because some sort of reaccumulation, which I talk more of that in my mentorship. Okay, What I mean by reaccumulation is, for example, let's say we had some sort of accumulation happening in here. Okay, we had this accumulation happening in here and we saw this spike happening. Okay, reaccumulation actually means this same thing happening in some sort of up, like once this happened, the price started moving towards the upside, then we want to see again some sort of price manipulation. Okay, we want to see something. So this breaks towards the downside doesn't mean the market is bearish, right? This is what I call reaccumulation. And then again, the market will move towards the upper side. Okay, so we have gotten that accumulation and reaccumulation. So anyways, now the market is it's at that point where I will consider it being reaccumulation. So I talk about that very, very deeply in my mentorship. So going back to the context of the video of today, so I was talking about the framework. Okay, so if this low is being taken, so if this low has been taken, then at this point I want to pay more attention to find out what next is happening in the market. Okay, so nevertheless, this is my overall expectation. So I want to see the price come take this high, okay, as predicted from these levels right here. Still same scenario, I want to see the price come taking this high up here. Okay, so now you might be wondering, why or at which point do you think this bearish movement will gonna stop? Okay, because this bearish movement, right, it might still just continue like this before at a certain point you find it going higher. Okay, so you might be wondering at which point will someone actually want to expect or want to see this bearish movement getting to an end before this bullish movement. Okay, see, if you actually go on the lower time frame, let's say 1 hour. Let me remove this. If you go on the lower time frame, 1 hour for instance, okay, that is that high right in here. See, I was even trying to catch those highs right there. I was still trying to catch those buys in here. I should have, I think I shared this on my Telegram channel. If you can just go on the description below this video, you'll find my free Telegram link. You actually find out that I actually shared this. I believe so. I shared this. Okay, so see, the market was already in a very, very strong momentum, right? I talk about momentum moves more deeply in my mentorship. So the market was already in a very strong bullish momentum. So based on valid retracements, okay, valid retracements for me actually means that, but sorry, I'm actually talking about much more context, like we concepts, we are talking about a little bit more of concepts, but this is just an overall understanding for you to understand what I mean by framework. Okay, what I mean by overall context. Okay, context for me, it doesn't mean market structure. No, context actually means all these concepts which I'm talking about. Okay, it doesn't mean once you have seen structure. Context doesn't mean once you see structure moving to the higher side and you see break of market structure, it means you are bullish. No, there is a certain context behind a certain setup or trade that needs to be understood by the trader before you take that buy or sell. Okay, so I was still actually at this point, I was still looking for those buys in here. Okay, based on maybe some 15 or 10 minutes or 5 whatever, I was still trying to get those buys in here. But unfortunately, okay, the market started that retracement, which we actually saw on the daily in here. So as you can clearly see in here, we had this bearish movement in here. So this bullish movement that happened in here, this break that happened in here, was a very nice one for me, that the market was still very, very bullish. Okay, so no matter the retracement that will happen in here, I would not be freaked out. Okay, I will not get feared, like I would not be like, oh, I think the market structure has changed. Okay, but if you saw this, if you can see this, and as well based on your understanding of the overall market context that is very, very bullish, then you will never be carried away with such retracements. Okay, so let's say we are on the 1 hour. Let's go on the 1 hour. All these breaks, right? All these breaks right here. See, all these breaks right here. All these breaks right here. This breaks doesn't mean the market for Euro USD is bearish. No, they are just these are just multi-time frame fractal movements, which we could actually call like some sort of reaccumulation. This is what I would actually consider as reaccumulation or minor time frame breaks. Okay, it doesn't mean the Euro USD pair is bearish. No, that is not the case in here. Okay, though you might still find some guys still catching these sales in here. Of course, these are very nice sales which you could get in here. Okay, someone might still be waiting for those sales in here. Someone might still be waiting for those sales in here, which is very, very wrong. Okay, it is very, very wrong because the market is already bullish. It makes no sense for you to take those sales in there. Okay, someone might still have this. See, even in here, I still had those two. I had very nice two buys in here with very nice risk to reward. See, someone as a trader, some of the dumb smart money traders, after seeing these two breaks or whatever, how many breaks, these very nice bearish candles that form in here would have freaked a lot of you guys. Okay, which I believe so. See, I was still very, very bullish at this point in time when the market came in there. Okay, remember, see, this is still daily. This is still the daily. Okay, the market was right here and I was still considering buys. Okay, because of some very nice concepts which I talk about in my mentorship to be blue boxes. Okay, blue boxes. So it's some sort of how can I say it? Like you're trying to actually pinpoint or try to find out where is that range high and that range low of that time frame that was being put in place before a certain break to the higher side or a certain break to the lower side. Okay, so for instance, we had this break right here, right? Sorry, we had this break that happened right here. We had this break that happened right here. So for me, a blue box would have been something from here to here. Oh, let me get this. Yeah, so a blue box would have been this for me. Okay, but this does not mean when price comes back into this blue box I want to trade. Okay, see, as can clearly see, we are on a daily, so I always want to refine my blue boxes in order to get a very nice and refined what I call line of interest. Okay, line of interest for me, it's demand or supply. Okay, so when I see price come back into a certain supply or a certain demand before I can take a trade. Okay, so if you could refine this blue box, you could have actually found something like this in the market. Okay, so anything that comes inside this blue box, in between this range, from this high to this low, is a valid area for me to take buys. Okay, and of course I won't just take random buys, but I want to see confirms before I could take a buy. Okay, we could still refine this blue box, but blue setuppers, my mentees could actually understand sorry, what I mean by refining these blue boxes. Okay, so the market was in right here. So let's go back to, let's say, 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Okay, so this is what I actually shared in my Telegram channel. I shared this trade as well. So I had this line of interest right there. Okay, so I was actually expecting price to come into this line of interest, which I actually call as demand or demand zones. In this scenario was a buy. So I call these lines. I don't use this. I don't do my demand or supply like this, but I rather go with lines. Okay, so I call this, what I call this is called line of interest. Okay, that is how I call them. Okay, so I wanted price to come into this line of interest before that bullish move, but now same scenario which I talk about, the momentum move. Okay, so the momentum move from here, I could actually catch this buy right here. Okay, putting in mind that the daily is already bullish. The daily is already bullish. Okay, and then on the lower time frame, I actually saw that I actually had this nice blue box in here. Okay, which I could actually refine to a demand zone right there. Okay, as you could clearly see, price came into it. Okay, it gave some nice confirms, and then we could have that catch in there for those bullish movements. And again, we are not just getting these buys. Okay, we are not just catching these buys, but again, we are working with what I will call context. We're working about what we call framework, and we're working with what we call understanding how the market is actually moving in that particular time frame. Okay, remember our overall context on the daily is bullish. Okay, see, now we are on the 15 minutes, right? So this would have been my overall targets right here. My overall target for this market to come back into this, blue box in here. Once it come into it, I want to see those confirms for me to get this overall target. The market could still actually go towards the upper side, because based on the retracement after a bullish move, based on the retracement, there was already a valid retracement for me on the higher time frame for the market to move higher. Okay, so if there was, let's say, a demand zone in here, the market would have made no sense to come back into this demand zone. Okay, based on the momentum move, the market has no reason to come back into this demand zone if and only if there was already a valid retracement in here. So the market could still, in one scenario, just continue its flashy move towards the upper side, or comes back into this demand, or actually before the demand, in the demand, or after the demand, and then you can actually get those bullish movement. Same scenario that happened in here. Okay, I will explain more deeper. So same scenario that happened in here. We came in here, we had those nice confirms. I'll explain for you guys. I was actually not on my chart, but based on the way I trade, you could actually see I had those nice confirms. First break, second break, price comes back into this period, and then we could take this buy. Okay, but as price moved away, it left behind it this demand. Okay, and of course my overall framework would have been for me to take out this previous high right here. Okay, I want to take this high. So if you go lower, let's say 5. Okay, great. Let's say 5. So as you can clearly see, the market came back right into that demand. Okay, it tapped into it and it moved very nicely. See, and I actually talked about this entry model. This entry model from this one right here. This entry model, I talked about it in one of my videos. I think the title is risk to reward, how to catch higher risk to reward. If you can just go onto my YouTube channel, you're gonna see this video by name, how to catch higher risk to reward. You get to know more about that. Okay, so as you can clearly see, this was my demand in here. Okay, based on this entry model, which is called the manipulated entry. Okay, as you can clearly see, the last bearish candle got manipulated, like it manipulated the previous candles right here. So it actually means if I'm getting this trade from here, my stop loss should be below this bearish candle, okay, which manipulated the previous candle. So my stop loss should be somewhere around here. Okay, so price came into it, it tapped, and it moved right into our targets. Okay, same scenario right here. Based on the momentum move, I should think TradingView should give us the lower time frame. Let's see, I hope so. If not, then we will not have that explanation for that trade. I hope it should give us, yeah, great, it gave us. Okay, so based on the momentum move, the way I trade, what I could see in here was that what, as price was actually moving higher, okay, price was actually moving higher. Okay, so we had already a very valid retracement in here, so price made no sense for it to come back into this previous demand before moving. Okay, so I will always trade those valid retracement based on some certain demands, which if I could explain to you guys, there was a very nice valid demand in this candle. Okay, price came into it, it tapped, and then I could actually very nicely get into the trade with a very nice entry model based on how I trade. See this pin bar right there, there was a very nice pin bar entry right there. So I had the entry just at this candle and the stop loss below that candle, and of course based on the 1 minute time frame, this would have been, based on my framework, this would have been my very first target, and my second target this one, and the overall target would have been what we will have on the daily time frame, this overall target right here. This would have been the overall target. Okay, so that is what I talk about, or what I mean by framework. Okay, framework actually means, just to recap what we have been talking to you guys so far, framework actually means going on higher time frames for me personally, it starts with the daily. Going on the higher time frames, try to figure out where are you positioned in the market at that point in time. You would actually start from the left before you come to the right. Okay, so this is where we are, right? So we are now wondering if the market wants to go higher or if it wants to go bearish. Okay, but you as a blue setup, you will only understand the next move of the market if and only if you could just scroll back a little to your left, okay, and understand what the market has been doing. The market has been screaming to you guys after this bearish trend ended. We had that displacement in here. The market has been screaming to us that it wants to go towards the upper side. We have those multiple breaks towards the upper side. This is the most recent break, okay, and of course this is the most recent target which I'm expecting the market to come into, okay. But funny enough, very funny enough, you will still find traders pinpointing this to be their supplies, and they are still expecting market. Let me just get this very clear for you guys. I will just get rid of all these drawings. It was already getting messy. I will just explain for you guys. So what I'm trying to say is, funny enough, okay, you will still be expecting, you will still see in your whatever Telegram or Instagram or whatever, you will still find traders saying this is a valid supply and they're expecting market to come into it. Let me just release the price. Yeah, so you will still be seeing traders saying this is a valid supply and they're still waiting for the market to come back into this supply for them to take those shots. Okay, see, all this supply zone that has been left behind it are no longer valid. This was my very first video which I talk about how to know which supply zone or demand zone, or why are your supply and demand zones are not holding. See, you will still find people say this is a valid supply, they're waiting for price to come into it before they can sell. Same scenario in here. People are still willing to sell the Euro USD from here. They're actually saying this is a valid supply. They're actually saying this is a valid supply in here. Some people are still selling. Maybe they cut those sales and they're out already. Some of you guys are still waiting for those sales. As you can clearly see, the market is already pushing lower. Some of you guys are waiting for the market to come into this imbalance, like to get rid of this imbalance. You guys are still expecting price to get into this imbalance. By the way, I don't trade imbalances. I don't force them. I see them as some sort of a context. Okay, it actually aligns with the way I trade in terms of context reasoning. Okay, so people are still expecting this to be their supply. Okay, people might still be saying this is their let me pull out this. People might still say maybe this is their trend line or whatever, and they say this is a break or whatever, and they want to take this retest, like from selling from some certain supply or let's say support and resistance. Okay, let's say support and resistance, and they want to sell from here. I want to sell from here. I have no problem with these guys, but the only thing is, I want to let you guys understand the context. Okay, this is how the market has been moving for over years, based on my back testing, based on my experience. This is how the market has been moving for over years. Okay, figure out where are you situated in the market and where are you actually heading into. Okay, so presently for me, Euro USD, this is my overall target. I want to see the market come into this I want just let me clean this. It's really getting messy. Yeah, so this is where I'm actually expecting the market to come into. Okay, so remove this. Yeah, nice. So this is my overall target. Okay, this is my overall target for Euro USD. So you should not get lost into those reasoning of minor structure breaks. You thinking that the market is bearish. No, start with your framework, try to figure out where you are in the market, and then based on that overall time frame, then you want to see this very nice, like you've been placed in your position with the market flowing in that right direction. Okay, so these breaks are all what I would call reaccumulation. Okay, they are not market structure breaks or change of market structure or whatsoever. No, this is not what this breaks means. Okay, so if you are trying to sell in here from any point in here, if you're actually selling in here, it means you're actually in that liquidity or that yeah, you're in that liquidity or wrong side of the market. So all this when this reaccumulation will actually be right in here, then all those sellers in here will probably been taken out. Okay, they might actually be trading based off some sort of RSI saying this is oversold. Okay, as you can clearly see on the daily, they will probably say this market is oversold or overbought or whatever, and they want to bring the market lower. That is not the case here. If you are selling in here, it means you are actually on the wrong side of the market. Okay, wait on the higher time frames. Okay, go on your higher time frames, wait, try to figure out where is the next move for the market. Okay, and then when you drop lower on your lower time frames, that is only when you want to see confirms. Okay, you want to see confirms before you can actually take those entries. Okay, for me, those buys are already coming into place because of what I could actually see. What I saw, those double breaks happening already, very first break and second break. So if in here, as the market opens next week, if I could actually find a valid confirm in here, then I want to take the buy. Okay, though some other traders on the other side might still be very correct, but based on the way they enter the market, they might fail. Okay, so some traders will now say that one, they will now say this is their last bearish candle and say this is their demand in here. Okay, no, they are actually correct, but at the same time they are wrong. Okay, I will explain why. Based on this bearish movement in here, the market has already given us a valid retracement. Okay, so it actually doesn't make huge sense for it to come back right into this demand before it moves. Okay, the market might just do something like this on the lower time frame. It might do something like this, and then it goes, and then you'll be left wondering, yeah, what happened? My zones doesn't hold. What happened? Oh, blue setup is a fake guy. Oh, this. Oh, this. No, if you understand the right reasoning, the right context, the right framework of the market, then you will always be happy or actually feel very good once you see these moves happening in the market. Okay, so I hope you guys actually understood or actually got some sort of knowledge in this video. So I am always at your service to assist you guys. If you have any questions, you have any doubt, or you need more clarifications, or you need me to talk more about some certain topics in the next video, please drop on the comment section. Okay, let's chat over there, and I will actually see how I can help you guys. Okay, so see you guys on the next video, and have a great weekend. Bye bye.